And we are live. Wonderful. I'm just going to give it a few seconds so that people can hopefully discover. You never know with YouTube, but you know, some people might discover this live stream and join the chat. Okay. Now, first of all, a message to those who might have found this live stream hidden deep in the YouTube system. So, the people in the future watching this, do not be alarmed. This is a white man. And I know you're not supposed to see people like me on a screen any longer, but we are not dangerous. We are just like everyone else. So, hello. And consider yourself lucky that you found this, because you probably don't see this like genuine content. This is a real human being too. Yes. And I am going to talk a little bit about that. And if you are watching this in the future, this whole thing, you might not understand even what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, let's return to the present. Social media. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? I mean, here on, especially on YouTube, where I have Hi there, Guardian Prepping, and especially here on YouTube, where I have my main channel is quite large, and I've um, it's a social, it is a social thing. It's a community. It was built before AI, and it was built before YouTube started to change from a subscription-based algorithm to a shitty algorithm, which is the situation now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think that what we are seeing now is the death of, or the rapid decline of content-based social media. Horror Business, a 2 year as a member. That is wonderful, and thank you so much. You got your badge there, your icon there. Wonderful, congratulations. Hold on. Here we have one of the dogs barking at some other dogs walking past. So I'm going to sort that out. Just give me a few seconds. Okay. Now, it's rainy, still raining, morning here in Norway, and spring has arrived finally. And well, it is early, but I'm always looking forward to spring. It is wonderful. And yeah, but that's not what I'm going to talk about here. So let's get straight to the point here. I believe that content-based social media will not really be a thing of the future. Now, what is content-based social media? Let me first of all give you some examples. Let's say you go for a hike and you spend the night in the woods in a tent, for instance. You make some food, and you have a video camera, and you film the different parts of that, and you make a video. That's content. It's a YouTube video, for instance. You can upload it to YouTube. So that's an example of content-based social media. It is content that you made, and you offer it usually for free on a social media platform. Now, what I'm doing here is also content based. I am providing something that has not been done before. Now, you might say that other people have talked about this. Yes, but these exact words, this person here saying this right now, it's original content. Now, you might say, well, that's obvious. Yes, it is. But still, it is important that we grasp the concept of content. You make content, okay? Why do I think that kind of social media is is dying? Well, first of all, because the platforms do not give the creator enough of an incentive to continue providing that content, that kind of content. First of all, uh, there needs to be an income. For most people, after a while, if you've been doing this for a while, you would like to see some income. Okay. It's being drastically reduced. And I think that YouTube is rapidly moving towards paying so little ad revenue that it's going to be just laughable. Okay. And they're not being transparent about this. And now some people might say that, well, you shouldn't do this for the money. Yes, of course. But still, we have additional problems. And the most important one, and this is going to be the number one killer of content based social media, is artificial intelligence. You can now have these artificial intelligence, AI for short, um, software programs, because that's what it is. It's glorified copying, nothing else. You can have them make videos for you, and we're going to see a lot more of that in the future. And now you might say, well, people don't want to watch that. I disagree. It's not about what people want to watch. YouTube, as a leader on the when it comes to video content, has shown us that they will decide what people are watching. It's, I mean, I find myself being a little bit defensive here because people will say, oh, it's just because you're bitter because people are not watching your content enough. Well, it's not about that. People really need to understand that they're not even being shown the videos that they would probably enjoy much more than what they are currently watching. It's being decided for you what you are going to watch. And I can give you one example. Many people think that I quit uploading videos on my main channel more than a year ago. They think I quit because then they never see any of my new videos anymore. And that's just one example. So we are going to see AI generated content flooding the video hosting platforms. That's going to chase people away. People are just going to, say that, well, why would I do this? It's just a waste of time. As long as I, as soo- so, sorry, as soon as I upload a video here, it's being copied by 1,000 AI platforms, and there's 1,000 copies of my and tweaked copies of my video out there within minutes or seconds. That's what's going to happen. And YouTube is saying that, well, we're going to stop that. No, you're not going to stop that. I don't even think that YouTube wants to stop that. I think they want that to happen. Add to this, of course, that people will very soon now stop using search functions on the internet. They will just ask AI, and it will be provided to them some kind of answer, which will be so destructive to people's ability to think in a critical sense, the critical thinking. Now, let me just get to the chat a little bit, and I'm going to respond to your comments. I didn't really do that last time, so I'll try to stick to topic, but yeah, okay. Let's see here if there are any here that any comments in the chat that I miss. I am sorry. I'll just quickly go through the comments. Yeah. Yes, shadow banning. Well, it's a real thing. It's so funny that YouTube and other, well, if they're trying to tell us that there is no such thing as shadow banning. Come on. It's an insult to my intelligence when they say that, to our intelligence. And Ronnie Rebel says anything digital is controlled by someone. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and RFS Amy S says there is also inbuilt AI on a lot of the new smartphones. Yeah, I don't have a smartphone, but I was actually told that someone told me that the other day that yeah, exactly. Yeah, so get a dumb phone. Now, yeah, not one says there is definitely shadow banning. Yeah. Now, other people have observed, other creators have observed the same thing going on, that they upload a video and after a little while, let's say 1 day or 2 days, it just flatlines. It goes down and there is no activity there. If you have been doing this for a while, you kind of start recognizing when something is being tampered with, when it's not natural. That's not a natural curve in your statistics. So, and I'm seeing that on every video now, and I have been seeing it for a long time, actually. Now, so let's see here. If my ancestors fought the Romans, well, I actually have some ancestral lines going to the British Islands, so maybe. But my Norse ancestry here, no, the Romans, they thought probably it was too cold and miserable up here. um, yes, they are certainly hiding my channels. Yeah. Now, just in case you wonder, now I haven't been active on my Bjorn Outdoors channel for a while, for months now, and it's because I really haven't felt like it. It's obviously a smaller channel. There isn't any money in it. Not doing it for the money, of course, but then again, I also like my privacy. So, I haven't really brought a camera much when I'm outdoors, but I am going to probably get back to that. Um, and those videos, I make them because I enjoy the process and I enjoy making good videos. So, I mean, I recently bought a new Canon camera. Um, it's not a cheap camera, but it's because I like making videos. I like photography, but I'm not, I need, I'm just an amateur, of course, but I enjoy it. So, but I wouldn't do that because of YouTube. Um, oh, we got one here. Hagen Prell, using YouTube's platform to constantly complain about them and say how terrible they are. Not exactly how a man should behave. Well, I think you need to tell us and me how a man should behave, since I don't know how a man should behave. Wonderful. Thank you for your good advice there. Um, that's wonderful. Um, oh, Kyle, thanks so much for your donation there. That is wonderful. Um, now, so just to reply a little bit to was it Hagen Prell? No, Hagen Prell, Hagen. Did you know that YouTube will listen? They will actually listen sometimes. And what I'm saying here is something that many people are saying, many creators are saying. Do I think that they will change things up here? No, I don't think so. But I will not have people here tell me how a man should behave. Uh, I I really don't have anything to prove. I don't have to prove anything to you. So let's see here. Yeah, let's get back to the topic. Now, yeah, I'll get back to the topic. I think that there is another aspect to this. It's not only the AI. There are people who are saying, me included, that people's attention span has been drastically reduced. Now, we say that. I don't really have any data on that, but it certainly seems like that. And I think it has to do with that tracking device that many people watching this is holding in their hand. And when it's not in their hand, it's in their pocket. It's that smartphone. Um, Now, you can watch long format videos on your smartphone, of course, but we are seeing a change in behavior. Um, Now, let me add to this. Let me ask a question. Do you know where we are seeing this most in the most dramatic way? The change in behavior, the reduced attention span. I will give you the answer right away here. Um, Reduced book sales, like paper books, books that you read. It's all over the board. The sales are going down. And you could ask why. Well, I think we all know why. Because people have that little device in their hand. and they would rather watch TikTok videos and things like that. Instant, fast food for the mind, so to speak. And they will watch a TikTok video, 1 minute or less, and get enraged by something because they disagree. They will nod in agreement, or it's something that excites them, and it's a it's a totally different way of behavior, you know. So long format videos is not really that popular anymore. Uh, it's a generational thing, I guess, as well. But yeah. So, if I would have a smartphone, it was if it was not for if there were no tracking. No, no, notice while I would not. That would be the biggest problem with the smartphones. Would then not be a problem anymore, of course. But um, it takes too much attention. Um, now, yeah. Also, and now I have decided to go a little bit further and risk my entire channel here. Actually, that's why I started this channel. Um, it's important to understand that we are now living in a society which is where we are constantly bombarded with unhealthy radiation, which is being denied by most authorities. I think in France they are more honest about that actually, but it does something to people. Okay, this is not alternative. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not talking about crazy stuff here. I'm just talking about how, especially 5G, and I urge everyone to look into that. It is an unhealthy level of radiation, and it doesn't have. There will be people out there saying, "Oh, it's non-ionizing." It's they are missing the point. So this is important, and it is having an effect. Now, I am looking forward to moving away from where I live because of that. My headaches got much worse when they switched the 5G on. And I thought it wouldn't, but it really did. So we should take that into account as well. And here's a guess. Here's a guess. What other effects does it have on our physiology and our behavior? Will it actually change people's attention span? That's not a claim. It's just a guess. It's just a question, you know. So there is that as well. So so and people will disagree. I don't care because it's like, and I'll throw another one in here. The Earth is a globe, okay, and I don't care if there are actual people disagreeing with that. I really don't care. It doesn't matter if you disagree. It's like saying the ocean out there is empty of water. I don't care if you say that because it's clearly full of water, right? So, you know, I don't care. It's like saying, if people are saying 5G is not has no effect on our physiology. Well, people can say that. That's okay, you know? They can say that. It doesn't make it true because it has been proven to have an effect on many effects on our physiology. So I'm just waiting for the flat earth people to come swarming the chat now. Sometimes I wonder what happened with the school system. It used to be like you go there to learn to be, to study, to acquire knowledge, to be critical. Now it's just indoctrination. And yeah. And sometimes here in Norway, we have this wonderful tradition, the Norse pre-Christian tradition. And I think that they spend more hours learning about Islam than about our pre-Christian so-called heathen traditions and belief system. That's so sad. It really is sad. Okay. Now, yeah, 5G is not one thing. Okay, it is one thing, but the technology is much different from the other G's, if you will. It's they can change the frequency. Okay, that's just one of the aspects to that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know well, they say it's not up to the 60 gigahertz range yet, but you know, it's quite a different technology to what we have had previously. So yeah, I don't know actually which frequency they are using where I live, but I did notice a change in my pain level. Uh, yeah. So, um, okay. Now, we are going to change topic a little bit, and now I actually forgot what that was going to be about. Um, let's see here. Um, let's see. I actually forgot. Yeah, I do work quite a lot these days, finishing my book. So I am sorry about that. Um, yeah. Yeah. Lee says I get headaches in the city. That's new. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Um, yes. Now, Norway is a wilderness. Someone wrote here, and it is. It's still very possible to find areas with no cell phone reception here, with nothing like that. And if you go to a place like that, you will feel the difference, even if you don't know that there is no cell phone reception there. You will feel a difference. But the problem is that people never get to experience that because they're always within the range of these cell phone towers. So they get used to that. They get used to being somewhat uncomfortable, somewhat stressed, somewhat having some pain in the head, in the back of their head. And this is the brilliance of the whole technology, right? The whole logistics of this, because they don't let people experience anything else. So people start thinking that that's normal. What do you think would happen to you if you took if you took 1 month, 1 month? No, you don't even need 1 month, 1 day, and you spent all of that time in a place with no radiation. Well, there is always radiation from space and so on, but you know what I mean. Radiation from cell phones and these cell phone towers, and you ate only food that was non well, organic. The Americans, well, in English, you say organic, right? So no pesticides and stuff like that, no GMOs, just natural food. What do you think would happen to you? Anyone want to guess? You also know light pollution. People don't know this, but the LEDs that we use everywhere now, it's not a natural light. It doesn't even mimic natural light. Um, so uh, horror business says I would turn into a Viking. Yeah. So you would feel wonderful. You would feel that the stress would go away. You would probably be experiencing not being in pain. Oh, so, but it seems like it's very difficult for people to get to a place like that. Wolf Bright says you'd soon become healthier and happier. Yes. Michael Hodecki says people should buy those metal sleeping nets, ground it, and sleep free. Um, let's see here. For the first time in 30 years. And Florin Cosmos says, indeed, going in places with little phone Wi-Fi coverage and staying for a longer period of time is like having a fog lifted from around you. And Klaus A. Schwab says there is no profit in healthy peasants. Maya, you were unsubscribed. Okay, I am sorry about that. They do that all the time now. I'm sorry. Now, it kind of brings us back to a discussion that we have had previously. What is wealth? I can tell you, well, we all know this now, but what isn't wealth? The typical lifestyle, if you look here around where I live, expensive houses, expensive cars, people living on debt, debt, debt. Why there is a B there? DEBT, debt, debt. One of those silent letters. Yeah, you know what I mean. And sadly, there is a cell phone tower here now. Those towers need to come down, by the way. But don't quote me on that. That's not wealth. It really isn't. Wealth is being able to stay in a place with no radiation, growing your own food, owning your own land, um, eating healthy food, that's wealth. That's being wealthy. Now, there are many other things to this, of course, but that's a good place to start. Yeah, that has a silent B, don't I? I know how to say it. It's just a bit of a joke I have. Um, yeah. So, yeah, NATO Green says being self sufficient and having freedom. Um, Also, Wolfbright says wealth is free time and joyous activities to fill it with. Yeah, let me just add one thing about the 5G thing. It's being sold to the population as this wonderful new technology that will make everything faster. And people are so fucking stupid that they think that they need faster internet. They don't. 3 3G was fast enough. They don't need faster internet. It's just no. 5G is all about data collection. So I just needed to say that. Yeah. And Victoria says, I think if you stay in a place clean from all stuff, first of all, your body would start detoxifying from bad food, and brain, I think head would be clearer. Yes, absolutely. Sunlight is radiation, says Chicken Beak. You can eat microwave. Yeah. Well, you see, we have adapted to the natural radiation up through millions of years, you know. So it's not the same. We are introducing things that we never got the chance to adapt to. That's the difference. Um, so okay, yeah. Well, I'm just looking at the comments here now. I don't like it when people get defeatist and there are some ravens here. I saw two of them now. No, that was two crows actually. But yeah, we have some ravens here. I try to keep an eye on them. Okay, yeah. So it's like we all have the option to choose, right? So we can choose how to live our lives. And for me, and now I remember. Now I remember what I was going to say. Um, for me, I have worked so hard for since I was 19. I'm 51 now, and I can't go on like this. You know, I worked so hard, and people think that when you're a writer, oh, you have all this freedom. That's not true. Um, the opposite, I would say. So yeah, it's like I need to experience more from life than I have up until now. And this ties into also what we have been talking about now. And a lot of you guys, I know that. Well, my viewers here are from the age of typically 24 to 65. It's a it's an extremely wide group, um, and but if you're closer to the older to the 65 age there, you probably have been thinking the same as I have, that we don't want to work ourselves into the grave. But that seems to be what our fine politicians, people in charge, want us to do, um, because we're just sources of tax income to them. That's all we are, and we need to understand that it's a trap. It really is a trap. We need to get out of that, and it's easy. You can just walk out of it. It's so easy. But that's that we have become like these, these animals, wild animals, and you have these organizations that, if there's a wild animal that has been injured, they take the animal and they nurse it back to health, and then they put it back into the wild, and they put the cage there and they open the cage, and sometimes these animals, they want to stay in the cage because it took so long for them to get healthy, that now that feels safer. So we have become a little bit like that, I guess. But I can assure you that the only thing that's going to happen in your life, if you just keep doing if what you're doing, if you just keep striving and working, and that's what you're going to do. And they're going to push the age of retirement up, 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 um, and and you won't ever get to do any of the things you wanted to do in life. Um, and this ties into what we have been talking about: wealth. That's not wealth. And in the current system, you're not ever going to be wealthy, because it's a debt-driven, debt-based system. Now, many other people here on YouTube have been talking about this, so I won't get into details on that. So, yeah, okay. Uh, yeah, health, being physically strong is wealth. Yeah. Nature can be tough. Yeah, sure. Um, yeah, Thomas says Gen Z and Alpha AER. I don't know what that is, but about to give up any advice for them living in cities. Well, I think you are referring to how Gen Z and, well, there is a generation. What is there a name for the generation coming after Gen Z? I don't know, but basically they are facing a property market. They will never get into the property market. They will never own their own property unless they have parents who buy property for them. Um, so they are starting to ask the very good question: what's the point in following their parents' footsteps, so to speak? Because what they can see, and Gen Z, we can say a lot about Gen Z, but they're no fools. Okay, not at all. and they can see what their parents are doing and the trap that their parents walked into. And they are asking themselves, why would I do that? Why? And if you do have parents who buy an apartment for you, wonderful, nothing wrong in that. I would actually say that, well, I I'm doing that, and that's wonderful if you're in that situation, if you're in that position. But it is interesting that Gen Z, as far as I know, they are questioning their parents' life choices and this idea that, oh, you need to work, you go and work, you have a career, that's how you're supposed to live your life, pay your taxes, and you not only should you pay your taxes, but you should do so smiling, no matter how much you pay. Are you paying half of what you earn, like I do, in taxes? You should do that with a smile. Because if I didn't pay 50% of my income in taxes, there would be no roads, no roads, no hospitals, no schools. Yeah. Oh yeah, Gen Z. Yeah, there's a lot of insanity going on. Of course, won't get into that, but yeah. Um, Texas funds wars. Yeah, Pat. Yes, exactly. It's not a wonderful. It's a great business model. Here's the business model, and this is obvious to you guys, but I'll say it anyway. Um, let's say you have a factory and you make bombs. No, oh, said a bad word. No, now this will be demonetized, but I don't care anymore. Um, um, things that go boom, that you can send through the air and across the border. Okay, so you have a factory, your company makes that. Okay, so you go to the politicians and you say, listen, um, let's be friends with benefits, and you make it so that you provide weapons to that country down there. Okay, and we will sell you those weapons. Um, you just take the money from the taxpayers, uh, and you will call it, you're fighting for peace and whatever. That's the business model, basically. It's no competition, nothing. You just create the demand, and you take the money from the taxpayers. The same could be said about the wind turbine industry, and so on. It's never going to be profitable, but it is to those people who get the deal because the money is just taken from the taxpayers. So it's a very simple, low risk business model. Now, but yeah, taxes. Yeah, you should pay your taxes with a smile, or else there would be no roads. Actually, there would not even be any gravity. We would just drift off the planet, and um, the sun would shut itself off. Yeah. So now, yeah, Kathleen says taxpayers, in other words, have no choice as to how the money is spent by our governments. Yeah, and that's the main problem, of course. So, I'm just scrolling up here. Cinnamon Girl says Gen Z knows they were straight up ripped off and they are getting pissed. Yeah, yes, and don't you know? I wouldn't say I know many people in the Gen Z group, but I have kids. I guess they are Gen Z, and they're not woke. Their friends are not woke. I think that there's a minority group within that generations who are screaming very loud about these issues. um, am I Gen Z? Well, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Uh, I'm Gen X actually. Yeah. As they say in Norway, I'm standing, not crying. Well, I'm up of out of bed and not crying. That's what we say. I'm out of bed and I have my trousers on. That's all you can expect today. Oh, thank you so much, horror business. That's kind of you to say that. Gen Zs are like 12 to 27, says Michael. Okay. Yeah, I thought so. Um, and yes, Thomas says some Gen Z are using old phones again, and apps that make smartphones dumb. Um, both my kids want to have dumb phones, but actually they can't because, as far as I understand, the university where my daughter is studying, they have this. It's all smartphone based with um, um, the, the university where alerts, not alerts, but notifications and so on, and the same in school. So that's not good. Uh, yeah. Oh, Gen Alpha is Tim. Is that 2010 to present? Okay, I didn't know that. Huh. Okay. Bigot Bigot Self says if there were no taxes, it doesn't mean we who work would have more money. Corporations would just have more profits. Um, what? No. Listen, I own a company, and my company pays taxes, and I pay taxes. It doesn't. I can assure you that if I didn't pay, no, you know what? No, that's not how it works. Um, okay. Well, yeah, mushroom. It's tricky, isn't it? Because there are toxic mushrooms, and some of them look like the edible ones. So be careful. I only pick chanterelles because they're so easy to recognize, but there are, of course, many other edible mushrooms. But to be honest with you, I don't really like mushrooms so much because, at least in the woods here, there are, you know, maggots in some of them. Uh, so not in the chanterelles, but yeah. So be careful about that. Are you in Paris? Why is Cub SKR renovating your apartment? Um, yes, I can't read the nickname there, but there are hundreds of plants to forage besides mushrooms. Yes, yes, plants, edible plants. They are all over the place, uh, and fish, of course. Um, but yeah, maggots, protein source for the peasants. Um, Thomas is asking, do you think there is a way to implement Viking life in a city? I'm sure it's possible, but it would be difficult, I guess. Um, yeah. Let's see here. Don't go there with the narcotic stuff. Just don't. I will kick you out. Okay. And it's not funny. It's not funny. Okay. Don't be an idiot if that's what you want to do. Shouldn't have mentioned that. So I'll just give you 10 minutes timeout for that. Okay. If I see it. Thank you so much, Horror Business. That's extremely kind of you. Um, yeah. Yes, foraging is very important. It's a very interesting skill. Um, Even in winter in Norway, you can find edible food. I will say, I haven't done so much foraging, but I know a few edible plants. Most of them from my childhood, actually, because uh, it was like you would go out and there were some plants that we regarded as kind of candy. Um, so I learned that when I was very young, just a few of them, um, and um, and that's. But there are of course many others. I will say that when you forage for wild plants, you get used to eating. It's more of an exercise to eat that kind of plant food, and we are used to these cultivated um vegetables. They are very different and easier to eat. So, um, so let's see here. Truffles. No, I. Now that's a good question. I truffles in Norway. I don't know if there are truffles in Norway. Um, I honestly don't know. I will check. I will check. Berries, yes, of course. We have a lot of that. Lots of blueberries. But when the blueberries are out, also it's like high season for ticks. That's a bit of a problem. Yeah, they go searching for truffles with pigs, you know, in southern Europe and so on. Um, oh, Håkon has the answer here. Thank you. We do have truffles in Norway, but they do not have any food value, the ones that we have here. Thank you, Håkon. We learned something new. Hmm. Yeah. Um, Yeah, there are more ticks now than it used to be. And I remember when I was a child, we would sit in the header picking during early autumn, picking blueberries. And I can only remember getting a tick on me twice, something like that. Um, yeah, but now it would be like constant. I would have 20 ticks on me if I tried to do that. So we should have some kind of, just me being, I'm just going to joke a little bit, like jetpack or something, so we could hover above the header and pick the blueberries without touching the ground. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yes. Wonder why the increase in Gail is asking the wonder why the increase in the ticks. I can tell you, I investigated and I got an answer. Why are there more ticks now? Well, actually, it is because, well, if you ask people here in Norway, they will say, well, it's because they made it illegal to burn the ground. No, that is not the reason. The reason is that they are clear cutting forests so much. That changes the ecology of the area. So you have a forest, which would be a spruce forest, being changed into a dense forest with lots of young birch trees. And on the ground, you will have all the branches from the clear cutting. Um, that's a perfect habitat for rodents. And the rodents, that's where the ticks start their life cycle, so to speak. So also add to that we have lots of roe deers, much more than before, and they are sadly, infested with ticks, and it's getting warmer. So this is, as far as I've been told, the reason why we have much more ticks now. So, okay. Yeah, Håkon is saying that 1.7% of the forest in Norway can be called urskog. That's uh, old forest. Now it's the original forest, I guess. Yeah, yeah. As I said, there are lots of deer in this area. Yeah. Okay. Now we don't have black flies here yet, so I guess that's a good thing. Oh. Yes, Thomas says Europe was all forest in ancient times. Yes. Hmm. Okay. I'm going to end the live stream now, and thank you for watching. Um, and I will be back as soon as possible. Okay. Have a wonderful day.